Well, hello, my nasties. Welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a chatty little, let me just catch everyone up on what has been going on because it's been a lot and a little at the same time. It's that sort of life update, if you will. So if you are new to this channel, hi, hello, welcome. This isn't going to be a negative video by any stretch of the imagination. It is simply going to be a realistic look at where my life is, because if you all know, I tend to be a bit private with certain areas of my life and not others. Now, we are not going to delve into anything super private. This is all art and career related. So if you are new to this channel, you don't want a little bit of a downer video. It's not a downer video, but I'm just, it's not one of my peppier, most entertaining videos ever. So if you want something else to watch, by all means, skip this one and come back later if you like my flavor. So let us get into today's video. If you haven't already subscribed and done all that stuff, please do so now or wait till the end. It doesn't matter. Do it whenever. But any little clickety-clack and like and subscribe helps the channel immensely, so thank you. So let's get on into today's video. What you are seeing is just a few clips of creation processes for several small 5x7 originals that are now currently up in the shop. So I do my best to record when I'm working. Sometimes I don't, but just for the most part, this is what I've been up to lately. For those of you who follow me on social media, and for those of you who have been longtime subscribers, you have likely noticed that my activity has been at an all-time low. I have not been posting as frequently on YouTube. Now, to be fair, my activity on YouTube was usually, at least one video per week. But this year, I have definitely not been keeping up with that. And there's reasons for it, and that's what we're going to get into. And you may have already noticed as well that my Instagram has also been quieter than usual. And that is simply because I have not been producing like a fiend as I typically do. Now, I have been on schedule with my coloring books and such, and I have been making good on the goal that I set for myself back in December. If you have not watched my Vlogmas 2021 videos and you want a quick Karla 101, please go watch the entire playlist for Vlogmas. You get a peek into my life as an artist and all of that good stuff. But one of the things that I mentioned during Vlogmas is that I wanted to work towards developing a sort of boutique experience. I wanted people to be able to come to my Etsy shop and purchase stationery goods, postcards, stickers, and then art prints, original pieces of art, that sort of thing. I wanted kind of a candy shop, if you will, of art. And I want to eventually, if possible, move that into something that is not dependent on Etsy. I would like it to be independent, but Etsy has been good for me so far. It is convenient for my audience, so we're not getting rid of Etsy just yet. No, not at all. I don't see it happening in the foreseeable future. But aside from the slow trickle of a few originals throughout 2021, I have not created new art prints. Well, I created one towards the end of in early 2021. It's the Day of the Dead Sugar Skull Girl, but no new art prints aside from that, and no new stickers aside from the companion piece to the Day of the Dead Girl. I made a art print as well as a sticker for that. There hasn't been anything new. The only coloring book that I've released so far, which has been on schedule, has been Rococo A Go-Go. And currently I am on schedule for my next release of 2021. For my colorists out there, you've noticed there have been no color in chats, at least very few, and there certainly haven't been none, pardon my language. It is beyond midnight at this point while I'm filming this. I wanted to sit down right now and film while all of these ideas are in my head. So there have been no color in chats for Rococo A Go-Go, and they will come. But I need to take care of some Patreon business first before we do that. You'll forgive me if I'm a bit all over the place. My videos typically are not scripted. This is just me sitting down with a microphone, a cup of coffee. Yeah, a cup of coffee after midnight. I know. Cup of coffee after midnight, and then I have my water and my iced tea over here. So I'm caffeinated, I'm frazzled, I'm all of the things. So this is not, I repeat, going to be a negative video. This is simply me explaining why I have been absent and not nearly as productive as I have been in the past. So my woes truly began last year, right around the middle of last year. If you don't know, I am a graphic designer. I've always sort of identified with being a graphic designer by day and an artist, illustrator, creative thing by night. Graphic design has been my quote unquote career. So that's what I studied. That is what I have been for essentially forever. There was a time when I was waffling between wanting to teach art history and graphic design. Okay, but ultimately I settled on design because I didn't want to be beholden to people telling me about curriculum, what I need to do, what I can and cannot do. You know, I just don't perform under those circumstances. I don't perform well anyway. And so I became a graphic designer, which I worked in many offices before becoming a freelancer because, as I said, there is no way I can take direction from people, and office politics are not for me. I am a very work-oriented person. I would show up to work, and I wanted to work, do my job, and go home. I didn't want to hear about anybody's shitty dates. I didn't want to hear about anybody's sexual escapades, anybody's party escapade. I did not care. I simply was passionate about design. I wanted to do my job. I wanted to do it well, and I didn't want any interpersonal dramas, period. Well, that is not how humans operate. So, of course, the spook never had a good time in office settings because I always tended to be the pariah for those reasons, right? But I digress. That's a story for another day. What ended up happening is I wanted to use office life as a springboard into becoming a freelancer. So that's what I did. I became a freelancer. Then I moved away and I was living, and I am living, this independent artist life. I live in Southern California. I currently live in Palm Springs. Very expensive. We all know the drill, right? Single girl, California, making it work as a freelancer. Expensive. Having said all of that, I never wanted to let go of graphic design because as much as I am a free spirit and I am a creative and I'm a this and I'm a that, I liked having a little bit of stability. Because at the time, the graphic design it would fluctuate. It would be part-time here. It would be a full-time client here for a few months at a time, yada, yada, yada. So I was never stuck in a 9-to-5 per se. Now, there were periods where I would have contracts with particular clients who required me to work with them for, 3 months, a season, whatever it is, and I would have a more rigid schedule. Once that contract ended, either the work would then become as needed or part-time, or the client would go away and I wouldn't hear from them for another year. There was freedom in that day job situation because it was not rigid 9-to-5. Squeaks in the background, compliments of the gremlin. He is just as much of a night owl as I am, so excuse those. But hey, they lighten the mood, okay? So welcome the squeaks if you hear them. I'm sure the microphone will pick them up. So, okay, we are a graphic designer. We're living our fabulous designer life out in the desert. We're doing the thing, right? Am I wealthy? Absolutely not. That's never been my goal. I just enjoy having enough money to take care of myself, take care of my dog, and damn it, to put food on my table and to enjoy a good, nice dinner out, every once in a while. But then, of course, the grand old pestilence occurred, the C word. Ms. Coco, Ms. Rona, call it whatever you want, the disease that destroyed the world occurred. Naturally, as with everyone else, I was not immune to Ms. Coco. Some of my work disappeared. Unfortunately, many of the clients that I worked with were small, either businesses or boutique agencies who simply could not afford to keep a freelance graphic designer on staff. I completely understand it was going to happen. I get it. Some of the clients did keep me on for a while. They either reduced my hours or they kept me on as needed, or something that was a bit of a kick in the balls, if you'll forgive my language, but there's no other way to describe it, is they wanted to cut back severely on costs. So what they would do is they would keep me on as a consultant, and I would consult them on a marketing strategy in terms of design. A design strategy for their marketing campaigns is more appropriate. And I would essentially set up a strategy and a mood board, and I would give them what they needed to then send the work off to a quote unquote cheaper designer. They would send the work overseas or what have you to other designers who could work for literal pennies on the hour, and then they would take my instruction, my advice, and they would then do the work. They would create the work using systems and apps such as Canva. There has been a proliferation of do-it-yourself design apps in recent years. So the writing was kind of on the wall for me that I knew that my job was essentially going to all but dissolve unless I landed on something that was permanent. Okay, the writing had been on the wall before Ms. Coco. About a year and a half, I knew, Karla, you got to start planning. But I still retained my reliance on my day job because something in me was still thinking, you know what? Your artwork is not paying the bills, and it's all right. You know why? Because we've got design. We've got design to rely on, so that's all right. So after year one of Miss Coco occurred, things only got worse. And I realized something's got to give here. But what I'm going to do is I'm not going to stress about it just yet. So we are 1 year into this monster. What I'm going to do is I'm going to see the silver lining. I know, little black rain cloud that I am. I do see the silver lining. All right, I do. And I started to focus a lot on beefing up my Etsy shop. And if you recall, this was a couple of years ago at this point. So there was an influx of art prints. There was a ton of originals coming in, and I was focusing hard on art. And it was going really, really well. Ms. Coco was not getting any better towards the end of 2021, and I realized, okay, a lot of my clients have not returned. The graphic design situation is not getting any better, and I'm in a bit of a precarious situation here. I'm going to either have to go full stop into my artwork, or I'm going to have to find new clients. And then my wrist. I overworked myself to a literal pulp. This is when last year, if you remember, I was essentially out of commission for nearly 6 months because I had the worst tendonitis flare of my life. So then I thought, oh, holy bleep. I thought I was going to be able to rely on artwork, and now look what happened. My wrist busted and I couldn't even work on artwork. Then I thought, oh my God, now I'm quadruple screwed because here comes the pestilence. My day job has essentially dissolved, not completely, but it's teetering. I was working really well on my Etsy shop, and then now I can't work anymore. So now what, right? So towards the end of the year, I wanted to start partnering with companies who could produce merchandise of my artwork because the idea of licensing my artwork was a bit out of my scope. And I thought, well, I'm not going to license my work because the audience for my work is so small that there's no way licensing is going to go well for me. So why don't I create merchandise myself? I will license myself. And so I found a couple of companies to work with, and I attempted it, but it didn't work out well. It didn't work out well because I took a huge, massive financial hit. Why? Because these production companies allowed me to integrate the merch into my Etsy shop. But it was a clunky system. Even though the merchandise was very cute, it sold well, but the financial burden on me in the precarious situation that I was already in was awful. So I ended up working with Redbubble. And Redbubble is great. I have a Redbubble shop right now. Go over there and shop. Everything is set up. It is beautiful. It is wonderful. It is smooth. But the thing is I'm a bit of a control freak. And I had not wanted to work with Redbubble because I wanted my own Karla ecosystem on Etsy. I wanted my originals, I wanted my stationery products, and I wanted my merch all in one place. But it simply didn't work. I didn't like the idea necessarily of sending my customers off-site if they wanted to purchase merchandise. You'd have my originals, my stickers, and everything that I can produce in my Etsy shop, but then my tote bags, my journals, and all of that other loveliness had to be shopped for off-site. And it was just, I didn't want to send people away. But it ended up working out in the end because Redbubble is able to offer customers discounts, coupon codes, and 2 for offers and all of that. So I had to learn the hard way that it's actually easier for myself and for my customers to shop for merch elsewhere. And that's okay. But needless to say, that was an expensive lesson that I needed to learn, but I still needed a plan B. So towards the end of the year, I thought, okay, what can I possibly do that is still creative, but not in the illustrator sort of way? What is something that I can do to use my graphic design and my branding passions to what can I do? What can I do to put a few coins in the coffers? Something that I'm going to enjoy. I love clothing. I love fashion. Look at my artwork. Look at my Instagram. Sequins, shoulder pads, obnoxious earrings, giant acrylic jewelry. The 80s acrylic jewelry, the giant, I love it. I love it all. I love clothing. I love thrifting. I love vintage clothing. Don't ask me why and how it took me so long for the lightning bolt to hit my shiny sequined behind. Open up essentially a virtual thrift store. So that's what I did. I created an entirely new brand that is only clothing resale. Now I'm taking baby steps. I'm using Depop primarily, which is an online clothing resale store. Think of it kind of like eBay, but it's more for, the cool fashion crowd, okay? For, us annoying fashion people. But I am using Depop and I am starting I'm going in blind. I'm going in wild. It is mostly curated, but I'm also, I know a few people who have given me some clothing and they've just donated clothing to me that they no longer want. And I'm just, at the beginning at least, I was kind of just throwing things at the wall and seeing what would sell and what would stick because I wanted to earn some money and get this beast going. So I would sell anything and everything. And I'm very nearly close to selling out of all of those like random pieces and random items. And I am transitioning more into a more curated selection. And so that brand is called The Skeleton Closet, and it is intended to be more of kind of a spooky, gothy, alternative thrift experience. We're still kind of slowly trying to get rid of the items that don't necessarily fit that brand, but ultimately I would like it to be geared toward a gothy, spooky, fun, kind of eclectic demographic, which is great. It's going well, slow and steady. I am at this point inching up on my 100th sale. But of course, that sounds all well and good, but remember that every time you earn money, all of the money that I'm earning is being reinvested into my ventures. I am paying my bills, but also it is being reinvested. So have I seen a profit yet? No, don't be daft, my darling. Not yet, but we will get there. But having said all of that, I realized that living in the art and design world and in the fashion world just feels like home. It feels like home. But I still, in the back of my head, because I am Little Miss Independent, if you don't know, I am a one-woman operation, strictly one-woman operation. I have no support system. I don't have a sugar daddy or a sugar mama looking after me. Okay, I'm living in an extremely expensive city in an extremely expensive state. Everything is expensive. I'm one person, and I'm doing all of this by myself. So even though I took a risk with my little online thrift store, it is going well. It was a semi-calculated risk, okay? But I used my expertise in graphic design to create a brand. My logo, my business cards, the whole brand aesthetic is all set up, okay? It is not, I have not dedicated as much time to that brand as I should, but the primary components are there. The logo, the business cards, and the packaging. Okay, so we have that little brand developed. Again, not as much as it should be because I simply do not have the capital to reinvest in that at the moment. But later, it will become a more elevated little online thrift store. But what I was finding is that I still wanted more. Okay, I want a all-encompassing boutique. But how am I going to do that without abandoning my day job? I cannot abandon my day job. I cannot. I'm not turning a profit from any of my businesses, right? I am having my bills paid for the most part, but I am not swimming in cash. So I do not have expendable capital to toss into yet another risky venture. I need my day job. I need it, I need it, I need it. Now, unfortunately, what happens is that I have fallen into a state of being dependent on my day job for security. We are back to where I was when I started working at an office. So what do I mean by that? Back when I was in a cubicle, I told you that it was a frustrating, horrible mess because I was great at my job. I enjoyed my job, but I hated the environment. I hated the office politics, and I hated the unnecessary meetings and the unnecessary emails and the goddamn HR, okay? Because you can't look at anybody the wrong way without it becoming an issue. So, fast forward to 2022, and I have found myself dependent on companies, on clients who tell me what to do. I have become dependent on people around whom I need to watch my mouth, how I comport myself, what I do, what I don't do, what I say. And that's no way to live. However, I couldn't let go of that because I needed the money. I needed the money. And so I found myself this year, and this is now coming full circle. If you noticed that my productivity in terms of illustration has diminished, it is because I am back in a position of depending on my artwork to be my escape hatch. My days are consumed with earning the money, and being stressed out in a career that I'm not passionate about. And my art is I'm done for the day. I'm clocking out for the day. I can now work on my artwork. And it has become a desperate frenzy of release for me. And I hate that. I absolutely hate it because now I feel as though my artwork is just, it is an escape hatch for me. And that's not what it should be. I enjoy being creative when it is my everything from the time I wake up in the morning to the time I go to sleep at night. I need to live, breathe, eat, all of the above. I need to spend it being creative. And I know that might sound silly to some people, but the thing is, this is no joke. When I first started off creating artwork, artwork, it's frivolous, but then it is also not frivolous because I went into this for the longest time thinking, oh, my artwork is just, it's for funsies. It's not really adding anything to anyone's life. This isn't a necessity. Nobody needs this mess. So it's better for me to just work during the day, create at night, blah, 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 blah. And then I began creating coloring books. This was years ago. And slowly throughout the years, the more coloring books I released, the more people found me. Even though my audience is very small, those who find my work resonate with it a lot. Now, I'm not out here spreading some profound gospel with my work. I create for the sake of entertaining. My artwork is always open to interpretation. If somebody sees something in it that has a deeper meaning to them, baby, more power to you. That's all you. Take from it what you need to take from it and enjoy it. But I receive messages, whether they be comments or emails, instant messages, whatever it is, from people who regularly tell me, and because it happens, every few weeks it occurs. It's not a daily occurrence, but every few weeks, every couple months, I will receive messages from people of all ages, all walks of life, who tell me, your coloring books help me so much with this, that, and the other, or watching your illustration videos have helped me so much during my deep, dark depression. Insert reason here. And through the years, I started realizing, well, holy bleep. These little spooklets, these little scribbly lines that I'm putting on paper are not frivolous. On the surface, yes, they may be, but they're actually doing something. I want to be able to create these things all day long and to reach as many people as possible, because damn it, at the end of the day, I could be having the crappiest day. And if I get one of those messages, everything turns around immediately. But then I fall into that pit of thinking, well, damn, I spent 8 to 10 hours of my day working at a job, being told what to do with all these expectations, and it is entirely unfulfilling. And all it took was one person responding or sending me a message telling me how much they resonated with one quote unquote silly little coloring book that I made. Silly in my brain. And I thought, no, this is stupid. I would rather work making other people feel as good as the person who wrote me this email. Now, I'm not over here pretending to be an altruistic angel. Absolutely not. Baby, I have to get my hair cut. I have to pay for my nail polish. I mean, I do my own manicures, but I have to pay for my nail polish. So no, I want to pay my bills. This is not completely selfless. I want to be able to support myself. But having said that, I want to be able to support myself while contributing some sort of entertainment, some sort of respite, some sort of something positive to other people. So it's a full circle effect here. It's not selfless, but it's not selfish either. But your girl needs to pay her bills. So what am I supposed to do? I'm between a rock and a hard place, or at least so I thought. Something that has occurred throughout the years of my being a freelancer is that employers and clients see my name, they see my image pop up in their emails or on our instant messaging services or on Zoom calls. Did I say messaging service? Excuse me. Allow me a sip of coffee, please. So they see my little face pop up in the bubble and they think, this girl with the cat eyeliner and the purple hair, does she really look like that? Let's see what her life is all about. And as you know, I do not work under a pen name. I am my first name and my surname online. I own that website. That is who I am, and that is my Instagram handle. Now, I do have another company, excuse me. Ooh, look at Mr. Big Shot here. I do have another brand, which is Cat Eyes and Cacti, and then I have, of course, the Skeleton Closet, which is my thrifting experiment. But for the most part, my primary brand, which is all about me, can be easily found online. Well, I have, and I'm going to say, it even bothers me admitting this, But there have been instances where I have stopped myself from posting certain images online because I knew that my clients were peeping my Instagram. Because these clients were paying my bills, I could not afford to lose them. And I thought, you know what? I'm not going to post this online because someone's going to get offended. Somebody's not going to like this. And then, well, I'm out on the street. So I would refrain from posting certain images. And then something clicked. Something clicked in my brain that although I keep my life private, why on earth should images like this, or images such as this, and I'll just put a couple images online. Why would these incredibly tame images cause clients to want to move away from me? Why would they be ashamed, embarrassed? Why would that be a liability for them? I'm the graphic designer. I'm the creative. Isn't it expected that I be a little bit offbeat? Isn't that de rigueur for creatives? Well, apparently it's not. And I have lost a few clients because of this. Now, some of them didn't outright say it. Others implied it. And with others, we've had, little conversations here and there. I let it slide because I have been dealing with this my entire life. I've just been dealing with it I've always been that, weird, spooky kid, always. I'm accustomed to it. But damn it, I'm an adult and I should be able to do whatever I damn well please, whenever I damn well please, however, and with whoever I damn well please to do it with. Barring any bloodshed. I mean, never mind that I'm a little bit of a bloodsucker, but never mind all of that. Barring any of that behavior, am I really, really stifling myself over a paycheck? That's it. This year, I found myself turning to my artwork as an escape hatch. I have dealt with this situation again with a client. This, she's a little too weird, you got to tone it down. And I've had it. I've had enough. I've had it. So this is where I find myself today. I find myself at a crossroads, terrified and overwhelmed, because I know that if I officially close down my freelance graphic design business, baby, I'm on my own. Now, I do have a teeny tiny little fraction, it's a handful. It's a handful of clients who are ultra part-time. They come to me with projects. I've been working with them long term and we're good. Everything's peachy. They know I'm a weirdo and they're good with it. But they are few and far between. And I treasure them and I enjoy them and we have a good working relationship and that's great. But once I dissolve being a designer for everyone else, I'm essentially on my own. I am responsible for me. But hasn't that always been the case? I've been an artist, I've been a freelancer, I've always been responsible. I wouldn't have had a career as a freelancer if I had not been, right? I'm very dedicated and I'm responsible with what I do. If you expect a project to be done, give me the deadline, it's going to be done. Period. I set my own deadlines. I mean, for the past few years, I've been releasing consistently 3 and 4 coloring books per year. I am dedicated, and when I do something, I'm going to do it. But I have been feeling very disappointed in myself. I'm not going to blame the clients for being who they are. They are who they are. But I have been disappointed in myself for having been reliant for so long for people who don't appreciate what I do. They appreciate that I can earn them $1. But once they realize, maybe she's a little too expensive, or maybe if one of our clients sees the weird shit that she's posting on Instagram, they might not want to work with us. They might not want her in our Zoom meetings anymore. We got to tone it down, and we need to hire somebody who's a little bit more HR friendly. You all, I'm done. I'm done with that. What I need to do is something that I've known from the start. This is when I was a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed college student. I wanted to be creative. I wanted to. And then that went away when I became a fully fledged adult who had bills to pay. I'm done. But now comes a situation where as soon as that nail gets put in the coffin of my saying goodbye to these people, I'm going to be left with a bit of a void. I'm going to be able to focus full stop on all of my creative pursuits, but I haven't yet landed on something that feels like a proper, how can I say this? A proper sorbet, a proper sherbet of my lives. And what do I mean by that? Well, I am a creature of extremes, if you didn't know. So I have my personal brand, which is all of my spookiness, all of my spooky girls, the eyeliner, the bats, the gothy this, and the black lipstick, and all of that, the spookiness. We have all of that. But then I have another side to me, which is clean and tight and bright. Now, my spooklets are all bright. We've got the black lipstick, the eyeliner, the colorful funky hair, the colorful clothes. We got that. We got it. But that still leans more towards spooky. So then, when I moved to Palm Springs, I created an entirely different brand that had nothing to do with anything gothy. It was all architecture, mid-century modern. But I created a collaborative effort between Cat Eyes and Cacti and my personal brand, and that is the coloring book Hot Tropics. So I was able to mix my love for vintage kitsch, for tiki, for Palm Springs, and my love for all things spooky into one book, and that felt incredible. Then after Hot Tropics, fast forward a couple of years to the end of 2021, I brought two worlds together again, my love for fashion and my love for all things spooky and for thrifting. So I mixed together three worlds, basically, fashion and spooky. Enter the skeleton closet. But I still haven't landed on a full lifestyle brand. That is what I am kicking around in my brain right now. I want to keep the skeleton closet as its little spooky thrifting clothing situation. I want it to be where the spooky kids shop, and I want to keep it at clothing that is thrifted, and I want to put in a few curated accessories that are new that I source from wholesalers and small businesses and such. So I want thrifted clothing, sourced new goods, but I want it all to be in that spooky skeleton closet aesthetic, which is spooky, little touches of brightness here, just keep it there. But I want to develop a brand that I can share my love for obnoxious, bright fashion, bright, colorful artwork with just a little bit of spice, just a little bit of darkness. And that may seem to you like it makes absolutely no sense, but think about this for a minute. Look back through my Instagram, and you are going to see that my entire life has been bright, kitschy, obnoxious, with a little bit of darkness. It has never been fully goth. It's not all black everything, because damn it, all black everything is boring. No offense to my goths out there. I was the token goth kid in high school, but even in high school, I was considered the poser goth kid, because while everyone was listening to Marilyn Manson and who was the other popular, 9 Inch Nails and Marilyn Manson, I was the goth girl who was wearing bright nail polish, bright tights, wearing all black, mind you, but bright nail polish, bright tights, and I was listening to Depeche Mode, right? I was listening to 80s music. I still loved the goth music and the industrial and all that goodness, but I still had one foot in the 80s and in disco, which made no sense. Everybody's like, what the hell do we make of this clown? Like, what is she? She's such a poser. Well, knock, knock. All of those annoying people who would call me a poser are now grown up, frumpy, boring, living boring ass lives. Just saying. I have been true to myself. I've always been the same bright, dark weirdo, if that makes sense. I told you, I'm a creature of extremes. It's all about duality. Bright, dark, retro, kitsch. Now, the challenge is, how do I mix all of that together? And without going too deep into it, I have found myself in a position now where I think I'm ready to explore that idea. Does this mean I'm going to create a brand new brand? Well, you bet your ass I'm going to create a brand new brand. I just need to develop it, think about it, marinate in the idea for a little while, because it needs to make sense to me. In my brain, it makes sense now, but on paper, it needs to make sense. And that is where I have found myself on these late nights that I find myself stressed out, can't sleep, 4 o'clock in the morning. What do? Do I try to find another day job that is going to be unfulfilling, but that's going to pay my bills? Or do I take a risk on this? And then if I have to change my life entirely and move to Mars just to save money, is that what I'm going to do? And I am pretty sure that that's what I'm going to have to do. This new brand development is going to take a little while. We're going to start very, very slow, but it's going to happen. And it's not going to be for everyone. If you are here for my coloring books, great. If you're here for my artwork, great. If you're interested in my fashion and my weird style, you might be interested in this. I don't know what else to say because it's still a little bit nebulous. The ideas are still forming. They're almost solid. But it's still a little bit of an idea cloud at the moment. But having said that, the crazy thing is that all of my brands bounce off of one another and they mirror each other in one way or another. It all started with me, with my personal brand. I love retro. I love bright colors. I developed Cat Eyes and Cacti, which is all things retro. It's all mid-century modern, Palm Springs, tiki, all of that good stuff. Not very spooky, but we've got the retro, we've got the bright colors, we have that. But I'm exploring the graphic designer side of me because most of that artwork is design-based, it's digital. Then we created the skeleton closet, which is spooky, and clothing, which I love. And I do sell some vintage. So we have the spooky and we have the vintage retro over there as well. That brand, again, still needs some development, but it has the foundations built. So now this next brand is going to have to be a blend of everything that is cohesive, beautifully executed, and specifically curated. But when you see the brand, you are going to know that it's me. Because all of my brands have that hallmark. Once you look at them, you know, oh, that's Karla. I can see Karla in that brand. I can see her in Cat Eyes and Cacti very distinctly. I can see her in Skeleton Closet distinctly. Now this new one, I want you to be able to see me in all of my flavors distinctly as well. Why? If this sounds like it's too much work for one person, yeah, it is. And eventually, I mean, I would love more than anything to have creative partners. But I just don't. That is the card I was dealt, and I'm not going to wallow. Oh, woe was me, I don't have anyone to help me. Oh, woe was me, I don't have any creative partners. Oh, woe was me, I don't have business partners. No. Because wallowing and complaining and bitching and whining isn't going to get you nowhere. It isn't going to get you nowhere. My language is not going to get you anywhere, is what I should say. It's almost 1 in the morning, by the way. I've been ranting for a long time. Bless you for listening, by the way. But it is a lot to take on. But if you are passionate about something, there's always room for one more. But the only way for there to be room for one more is if I kick what is no longer serving me to the curb. Because if I spend all of the time that I'm focusing on other people who don't appreciate what I am, who I am, how I am, if I spend all that time working for them, I have no time for anything else. So if I cut all of that out, if I cut out what does not serve me, I am able to take all of those hours and dive into me, my life, creating my funky little planets. I am still reaching many different people. I'm not going to get bored, because how can someone ever get bored running 4 brands? But I will not feel exhausted. I will not feel as though I am creating out of desperation, that creation because I need an escape hatch from the daily grind. No, my daily grind will be everything that I love. Everything. I will be doing myself a disservice by not doing this. And I will also be losing an opportunity to make people freaking happy every day. Because I can reach more people, more demographics. The people who follow Cat Eyes and Cacti don't follow my personal brand. There is some overlap, but I'm reaching a different group of people with Cat Eyes and Cacti. I'm reaching another group of people with Skeleton Closet, and now with my other brand, I will reach another group of people. And there's going to be overlap. There are people who are going to enjoy 2 of my brands, 3 of my brands, all 4 of my brands. There's going to be that overlap. So there's going to be something for everyone. I love color. Rainbows are a blend of colors. I'm going to say something super cheesy here. I want my life to be a rainbow. But I do. So, thank you for listening to this. I had no idea that this was going to turn into as long of a discussion as it did. But this is what happens when your girl is unscripted and just flapping the gums. But it felt good. I didn't know how I was going to get this on my chest, and I was kind of avoiding it for a while. And I realized the best thing to do is to just shut your mouth, pour yourself some drinks, and just talk. And I need to practice what I preach. That's the irony of it all. Just don't overthink, shut your mouth, and just do it. So you know what? That's what we're going to do. I need to stop overthinking. I need to stop worrying. And I need to just do what's good for me. Because don't they say that if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of other people? How am I going to continue on the path that I want to be on of creating fun, funky things for people to enjoy if I don't feel like making them because I'm bogged down by uninspiring BS? It's not going to happen. So girl, shut up and do it. So let this be your lesson for today. If you're in a similar situation, if you're feeling the same, by all means, please let me know down below. If you took anything out of this video, let me know. Thank you so much for everyone who supports me in any capacity. If you follow me on Instagram, if you're subscribed on YouTube, for my Patreon patrons, my God. You guys have no idea how important you are to me, because I started Patreon a long time ago, about a year ago, because I wanted to test the waters to see if people really cared about what I do enough to become patrons. And you know what? Moving forward, kicking all of the crap to the curb is going to allow me to focus more on my Instagram, my Etsy shop, my YouTube channel, my Patreon patrons. It's going to be great. So thank everyone for your support again. However, if you throw me a like and a comment on Instagram, you guys have no idea how much a like and a comment mean on Instagram, on YouTube. Subscribe, leave a comment. All of that is so important. So thank you. Thank you. I hope this inspires you a little bit. If you're looking for that push, do it. Get off your behind. Mama Harpy is here to shove your butt off the branch. And with that, I'm going to go. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Hope that you enjoyed the artwork. If you enjoy any of these pieces, they are available on Etsy as I continue to blah, blah, blah. So head on over to our Etsy shop. Links down below, links to everything that you need to know will be down below, as always. Now with that, be bad, be good. I absolutely do not give a damn which, bad or good. I don't care. Just come back in one piece. All right? For those of you who like to say the outro with me here, I'll say it the right way so you can say it with me. Ready, ready, ready? Be bad, be good. I don't give a damn which. Just come back in one piece. All right. Goodbye, my heathens. I will see you in the next one.